What's your approach to improvising?
My approach to improvising is, in terms of, if it's my solo, I kind of decide on, I'm very in the moment improviser. It's really improvised. I don't know, generally I don't know, I know where I'm going to start or start an idea, but I don't always know where it's going to take me.
Okay.
And I like it that way. That's the way I like to do it. And I'm blessed to be able to do it that way. It comes out fairly correctly. The result is musical usually for me. Some people maybe need to have a little more structure than I do, but I think what I do is that I really want to approach it like singing, and like a scat singing, or that I'm singing a song and I want to sing the melody and displace it rhythmically like Frank Sinatra, or any great song stylist, Willie Nelson, and displace things rhythmically. You can displace things rhythmically. You can do things with rhythm. And that's kind of the way I do. I look at things as a palette, a rhythmic palette and a harmonic palette, where I know what the notes of the chord are, and I know what the notes of the chord, what the other notes in the scale would do against that chord. And that's kind of a broad overview of what goes in my mind leading up to a solo. I also will take things from the melody. I like to tie in, and I've been doing this more and more in the last few years, maybe some maturing thing, that I really want to tie in things from the melody that bring the listener back. I want great improvisers that I like and that I've heard of, that they always stay in the context of a song, try to stay in the context of the song. That doesn't mean that they play something that somebody played on a record before, but they stay in the context of what is the song, what's serving the song.
What makes it special? Keep it that way.
Yeah, what makes it this song? And then other things that influence me is, and this is all based on listening, having big ears. If I'm not the first soloist, if I'm the second soloist, I listen to the first soloist. And what was he saying? How was he saying it? Do I want to continue with that vibe, or do I want to totally get away from that? And do I want to give a different flavor, like, it's just a whole different course of a meal for the listener. Once again, for the listener. I try to get out of the self part of it. I try to serve the song. I try to do it for the listener. Hey, we're all human. We go have our ego thing, Dave Barrett may walk in the room and I may go, wait a minute. Oh man, I gotta play something to impress Dave. That's dangerous stuff. That's dangerous, bad stuff.
Yeah.
It's like I play with my eyes closed a lot, but we should all just be able to turn off the vision part when we play music. It's like, I shouldn't know who's in there. I shouldn't care. I should just think the listener, the audience. Because I'm not playing for you if you walk in, or I'm not playing for, you should just impress the song. Mm-hmm. And that's, so, and then I also think of like, well, what is the style of the tune? Am I playing blues? If I'm playing blues, I want to play bluesy. I want to play with my style of playing, I think I always want to play in some sort of soulful fashion, and that I'm always trying to go for that. And that's achieved with notes. This also it's achieved with note selection, but it's also achieved more often than not with tonal devices and vibrato, and
tonal devices like 3 by itself, 3 with a little bit of 4, a 3/4 shake, an
well,
octave maybe.
Yeah, right. Or that I'd say vibrato is in there big for me. Where you start your vibrato. I've never practiced vibrato, but people say they like my vibrato. So I've never practiced it, but I know that some people learn it by practicing, but then once you've got one, it's I think it's one of those innate things. Like, well, it's like, you know, does a chef have to practice certain things that he does to the food when he's preparing it? No, I mean, he's learned how to do it, and he does it right, and you repeat, and then you do it where it's needed.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
When you say where you start your vibrato, you're saying about starting a note and then having the vibrato come in, or maybe even waiting till the 5-8 measures down the road before it's introduced.
right, where you start it in, where you would start it, what kind of notes you would use it on, or more importantly, like vibrato is it's a funny thing. You listen to you listen to music from the 20s, and the 20s was a fast vibrato, and this is all generated by singers. And then the instruments all in, especially the horn players who use the vibrato, they would imitate the singers, so they'd have fast vibrato, and then slowed down a little through the 30s. I mean, you had like Rudy Valley, who actually sung and played alto saxophone. Had that nanny goat fast vibrato all the time, and then by the mid 40s when bebop was coming in, bebop was vibrato less. They just said, we're done, we don't do vibrato. And then, you know, now on ballads, yeah, they always do vibrato, but, you know, and then it gradually crept back in, and vibrato is a thing that's kind of gone, it's a fashionable thing almost amongst singers and players throughout eras. And the one that speaks to me the most is the kind where hit the note straight, and then hit the note straight, and then the vibrato. Say we're going to hold a whole note. So I hit it straight and then enter it. Sometimes people will wait just like to the very end of the note. Which my vibrato is probably half vibrato, half tremolo, and which resulted from the way I first learned it was the hard throat tremolo, where the glottal stop in the back, and it's the coughing. How do you teach it?
The vocal folds in the back.
Yeah, as a op.
Yeah, that influences your tongue when it
And
pops.
then as I played more saxophone, see, there's the saxophone feeding back the harmonica, where it's a thing with your lip, and you're doing pitch, you're doing slight pitch variations, and Chris McCulloch has one of the most beautiful vibratos, and he's all lip like a horn player, doing pitch variations, and so mine is melded into a kind of a hybrid of both, where it's not as hard as that one, and I still do that one. I mean, if the music's calling for it, I mean, if it's, you know, and I've got an amp and a mic or something. I play a lot through vocal mic these days because I've already got a couple horns on the gig, and
a lot of gear.
You know, it's too much hardware.